Hi, my name is Monet Lycett, and this is an accumulation of knowledge that I have collected over the course of these 7 or 8 or so weeks regarding exercise and fitness education and all the good things that we can or that I can personally apply to my career and my future endeavors. So this is my client, this is my sister. She is a healthy adult female who does have a history of exercise, and she's not new to exercise at all. She used to participate in track and field in high school. So she does have an athletic background, but she does not currently participate in any type of resistance training on a consistent basis. She does have limited knowledge and experience and confidence with free weight and performing exercises with proper technique. So her primary goal was to improve her overall strength, improve movement quality, and improve her confidence on compound lifts, while also establishing a safe and effective resistance training routine. So prior to designing her program, we did a few things together. So we completed the health screening and movement assessment in order to identify any movement limitations that she might have or any deficits regarding technique that could affect her performance and possibly increase her risk of injury. And so, although she was cleared to participate in exercise, the assessment identified a few deficiencies in both her back squat and her chest press, among other movement patterns and directions as well. Um, these findings helped guide my exercise selection and kind of the direction in which we tailored her program, including coaching cues and program progression to address her individual needs and improve her overall movement quality. So, health and movement. So, together, or I would say rather, she did, before completing um, her resistance training program, we had to take an assessment and take inventory of what she was working with. So we completed a comprehensive health and movement assessment to ensure that she could safely participate in exercise and also to identify any areas that may require improvement. So the health assessment included the PARQ questionnaire and an ACSM health screening, a review of her exercise and medical history, um, in addition to a few other demographic things that we took account of. Um, so my client did answer no to all of the PARQ questions, and she reported that there was no cardiovascular, orthopedic, or metabolic conditions. She also does not have any symptoms such as, or does not present with, or did not report any symptoms such as chest pain, dizziness, shortness of breath, or loss of balance. And so, based on these results, she was cleared to participate in exercise without like a further need for medical evaluation. Then next, we administered the functional movement screen, or the FMS, to evaluate her movement quality. And overall, my client earned a score of 16 out of 20, 21. She did have some strengths. The strengths were her mobility and trunk stability, and her limitations were pretty apparent in the deep squat, the hurdle step, the incline lunge, the active straight leg raise, and rotary stability. Overall, not too bad, but these findings did suggest that she has like a deficit in ankle dorsiflexion, hip mobility, hamstring flexibility, balance, and some neuromuscular control. In addition to the FMS, we assessed her squat, her hip hinge, her push and pull movement patterns, as well as her balance, her joint mobility, and overall movement quality. Although she was a former track athlete in high school, since she no longer really participates in exercise and resistance training consistently, there was a little bit of an urgency as far as her movement quality and some things that we needed to address. So I observed excessive forward trunk lean and poor weight distribution during her back squat, and during her dumbbell chest press, there was a little bit of a shoulder flare, elbow flare, and decreased shoulder stability during her movement, during her chest press. These findings, they kind of served as the baseline for the direction in which we took the program. So my program design, and rather than focusing only on strength, I wanted to prioritize movement function, or like movement quality, through individualized exercise selection, through motor control coaching, and progressive overload. I think that this approach does ensure that she can participate in exercise safely without getting any fallbacks or diminishing her confidence or leading to frustration, which there was a little bit of, ultimately promoting a safer and more efficient movement pattern for her to become accustomed to. So periodization, now we're getting into program design. After completing the health and movement assessment, I designed a periodized resistance training program based on her goals, her training experience, and the ACSM and FMS findings. The primary goal of the program was to increase her barbell hip thrust 1 rep max by 10% within 6 weeks. That's what she told me she wanted to do, in addition to improving her overall lower body muscular strength, and well, a lower body in addition to upper body as well. Although my client, again, did compete in track and field in high school, since she no longer participates in that type of exercise anymore, I did classify her as a novice lifter. And in order to help her reach her goal of getting stronger and developing some strength overall, I designed a 4-day upper and lower body split, which allows each muscle group to be targeted twice a week, and with enough resting period between each session. So the training intensity ranged from 75 to 90% of her 1 rep maximum, depending on the exercise. The primary compound lifts were programmed for 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 6 repetitions, with 2 to 4 minutes of rest in between each exercise. The primary compound lifts were programmed that way in order to maximize power and efficiency and movement capacity. And the accessory exercises were prescribed with slightly higher repetitions and shorter rest periods. Again, this is in order to reinforce movement quality and address specific weaknesses. Each exercise we selected was individualized based on her results, again, based on the FMS, and the compound exercises such as the barbell hip thrust, the back squat, her Romanian deadlift, the bench press, and bent over row, all very exciting things, were prioritized because they recruit multiple muscle groups, and they also improve neuromuscular conditioning, coordination, and increase functional strength. These exercises also provide the greatest transfer of function. So most functional movement patterns that we see in day-to-day life. All of these exercises are going to be a great accumulation of exercises to improve her strength overall. The accessory exercises also included Bulgarian split squats, walking lunges, single leg Romanian deadlifts, Pallof press. All of these were incorporated to improve her balance, because she's transferring weight from one leg to the next and keeping weight on one leg, improve her hip stability, her core control, and neuromuscular conditioning. That was identified as a need and necessity during the assessment. So overall, the progressive overload at the end, I would say, is increased resistance. We're increasing resistance by about 2 to 5%. Once she's able to complete the prescribed repetitions with proper technique, and we do it this way so that we make sure that safety is at the top of the list when it comes to priority. Um, Again, safety is something that we want to make sure we consider at the forefront. Alrighty, so this is an example, or this is my periodization, specialized program designed for this specific client. It represents the 4 days, the upper lower body split, in addition to the compound and accessory lifts, all very exciting things. And moving on to exercise technique. For technique demonstration, I selected 2 compound movement patterns that my client struggled with in the original video. So she had a little bit of an issue with her lower body and upper body. Lower body specifically, that was the barbell squat, back squat. And for upper body, it was the dumbbell bench press. During her back squat, she struggled with maintaining a stability weight distribution, and she had a little bit of an excessive forward lean at the trunk, at the chest. And so redoing this video, reteaching her this exercise and providing more efficient coaching cues, I put a bench behind her and she was able to have a tactile reminder of how low to sit. It helped her with her weight distribution and keeping her chest a little bit more lifted. And during her upper body exercise, the dumbbell chest press, just had to remind her to stabilize her shoulders, keep them pinched and retracted and depressed, in addition to making sure not to wing out the elbows, to keep them bent at a more of like a 45-degree angle, keeping a neutral spine, making sure she wasn't collapsing and pushing her lower back flat into the bench as she would exhale and push her weights to the ceiling. It did take a little bit of time to work on the chest press. The video is attached here. There's also a link just in case the video for some reason does not open, but eventually we got it. Alrighty. So throughout this course overall, I learned that effective resistance training benefits everyone. We know that already, but it begins with a thorough assessment in the beginning. It's not just a matter of looking at someone and thinking that they need to focus on one specific thing, because the majority of the time with my clients, we start off with a squat assessment, and the squat assessment doesn't necessarily answer all discrepancies or fix all of the little issues that might be present in the way that a person moves. So it's important to make sure that we do a more holistic, take on a more holistic approach to assessment in the beginning. So the FMS and the ACSM, all of those tools are very helpful, and I do think that is something that we should continue to use in the future. One of the biggest lessons I learned was the importance of using tools like that. And as I progress into my career and lean further into becoming a fitness professional and getting into physical therapy school, the doctorate program, it is important to make sure that I take these things very seriously, because the answers are right in front of us. We just have to access our tools. Let's see. And then finally, this is probably my favorite part. One of my favorite parts is not approaching this from a selfish point of view, but a very, very rewarding place to be. Being able to help people, it sounds very cliche, but being able to help others, especially through movement, and improve someone's quality of life, it just matters so much and it feels so good. It's so rewarding. Um, I I want to remind myself and to encourage myself to continue to lead and to have a heart um, and a mind like Christ, and to make sure that I approach every situation with humility and with kindness and with love. And I feel like I do that very well. But it is important to make sure that we remember our core values. These are some of my um, favorite scriptures for supporting the role of a fitness professional. And thank you. This has been an enlightening experience and a very practical and applicable experience. So thank you.